When I first decided to start a photography business, I thought that I could just get by with a camera and a website and we could call things good. But then I realized that there was way more to it. There's marketing, there's pricing, there's contracts, there's systems, there's this, there's that, and the other. Looking back, there are a number of things that I wish I knew from the beginning that would have saved me headaches and stress and sleepless nights. And in this video, I am sharing those things with you. Those 5 things are all about the hard truth of what it really takes to run a business. Like, it's not just taking pretty photos. Number 2, why saying yes to every client is a big mistake. Number 3, the investment that took my business to the next level. Number 4, the thing you're probably not doing and it's costing you clients. Stay till the end because I'm sharing the biggest time-saving hack that I discovered and why you should go ahead and start doing it right now. When I first started my photography business, like, I had started my portfolio from scratch. I literally asked friends and coworkers if they would be, they would be my photo subjects, my models, just to kind of get experience under my belt. But when it came to actually asking for money, because this was a business, right? And then when you have a business, you want to make money. I was completely lost. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know, like, where do you even begin with pricing your services? And so I figured out a small and easy framework that really helps to kind of guide you on your way when you're first starting out and first starting to charge for your photography projects. And so the quickest and easiest way to figure out, like, a baseline for what you should be charging, kind of depending on what it is, if it's a wedding, if it's a portrait, if it's headshots, whatever the case may be, especially if you haven't charged anything yet, is to think about what are your costs. What does it cost you to go do this photo shoot? Now you may be thinking, but it doesn't cost me anything. I already have a camera and I'm not doing anything else, so what is it costing me? But if you think about it in a larger perspective, like, what are the things that maybe you're paying for? Maybe you're paying off your camera, maybe you're paying off a lens, maybe you're going to start a website that has a monthly fee, or you need a gallery software and that also has a monthly fee. And here's the thing, the great thing about starting your own photography business is that you set the prices and you can change them at any point, but it's always good to have a really solid starting point, so that when you have either friends or family or complete strangers asking you how much do you charge for your services to take their photos, you're not a deer in the headlights wondering, oh no, what do I charge? Because you're not really sure yet. It's really important to not just take pretty photos, but also have your pricing in place so that when someone asks you, hey, I'd love for you to take my photos, what do you charge? You have an answer for it. Thing number 2 that I wish I knew when I was starting my photography business is that not every client is gonna be a great client for you. Sometimes it seems like a good idea at the time, but then it turns out to be, hopefully it doesn't turn into a nightmare, but sometimes it can. Either the client wants too much or is too demanding, or they want you to recreate a style that isn't your own. Those are a few of the red flags to look out for. But I get it when you're just starting out. You're like, I just want anybody to pay me money. I want anybody to hire me. But at the end of the day, you got to think about your business with a long-term strategy, and think about, is this client going to help me get to where I want to go, where I want to take my business? And sometimes it's hard to tell, and at the very beginning you probably will take every client or accept anyone who's willing to pay you money to take their photos. But after you've had a couple of clients under your belt who maybe have a variety of personalities, you will quickly figure out who is your ideal type of client based on the type of photography that you want to offer. And it's okay to say to a client or to say to a potential client, I don't think we'd be a good fit, but here are some other people who I recommend you reach out to. And that might seem a little bit harsh, and maybe you don't need to say it that way. But when you have a phone call and you get an idea of what your client is looking for, in the back of your mind, you either know, okay, yes, I can definitely do this, or you may feel like, I don't know if I could do this. And then another feeling you might feel is, I don't know if I feel equipped to do this. So those are some things to consider, and it's always okay to turn down a client. The third thing I wish I knew from the very beginning when I was starting my photography business is that investing in education and sometimes gear is a really good idea, because yes, you're here on YouTube, you can get free information all day long, but do you have time to be searching through different videos trying to find the answer to what you're looking for? And in my experience, I found that either signing up for a course or getting coaching from a specific person or getting some mentoring from another photographer who is further ahead, who could help me with my specific questions, would help me get to where I wanted to go faster, much faster than if I was just trying to figure it out on my own. Now there's a trade-off, is that University of YouTube is free, searching on Google is free. If free is all you have to work with, then great. It just might take you a little bit longer to get there. But if you have the means and if you have the funds and you're ready to run faster, then investing in a coach or investing in a mentor or investing in a course of whatever kind of targeted education that you're looking for that's going to help you solve your problem, help you take your business from here to there, then it's going to be well worth your investment of time and money. Because if it's a good course, if it's a good mentor, if it's a good coach, you will be able to make back your investments, and it'll be well worth it to have gotten there faster. So when you're starting out in business, you have no business background like I did. I had when I started a photography business, I didn't know anything about business, didn't know anything about marketing or pricing, advertising, any of that stuff. So one of the things I wish I knew from the very beginning is that the whole idea, if you build it, they will come. That's not a thing. Instead, I wish I knew that building relationships with others will help you create momentum in your business, book more clients. Having people who can refer to you because you do XYZ is actually really great. And it's really hard to build a business in a silo. It's really hard to build a business by yourself. So it is so much more fun, it's so much more helpful to build a business with friends, or to have friends who are either in the industry, so maybe other photographer friends or other networking partners, other referral partners. For example, I'm a brand photographer and I have a network of, I have a social media manager friend, I have a graphic designer friend, I have a copywriter friend, and so all of our businesses are kind of synergistic, and so we can refer to each other when our clients are looking for the services that we know they provide. And this is so much easier, so much faster, so much more enjoyable to build a business with friends versus doing it alone and trying to figure it out all alone. And when I first started my business, I had just moved to Texas. I knew absolutely no one. The only person I knew was my husband. I didn't have a full-time job at the time, so I didn't even have any coworkers. So what did I do? It was the early days of social media, and I actually met my first contact, who was local, through a friend on Twitter. It's crazy. But that is the power of making connections and following through with building relationships. And in fact, that first friend and I are still friends 15 years later. And it all started from a simple tweet from one of our friends. And number 5, if you're really if you're really wanting to build a sustainable photography business, here's the thing to know. You don't have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to be a one-person show forever. If your business gets busy, which is great, you're gonna need help. And that doesn't mean you need to hire a whole staff. That doesn't mean you need to build out a team necessarily, but kind of depending on what your strengths and weaknesses are, outsource your weaknesses. If you're really slow at editing, hire an editor. Well, even now there's AI editing. That's a form of outsourcing as well. If you're bad at communication, or if you're bad at replying to emails and getting back to clients quickly, consider a virtual assistant. There are many ways to outsource things in your business or in your life. Like, let's say you really hate cooking, and so you'd rather spend that time that you might have to cook, you can hire that out, maybe to a meal service. If you hate cleaning your house, hire out cleaners, and instead of spending 2-3 hours cleaning your house, you could spend that time building your business. That is also a way of outsourcing to make your life and business easier. Looking back, I wish I knew some of these things from the very beginning, but that's not always how a journey goes, right? We start somewhere, we start as a beginner, and we figure it out as we go. Whether we decide to go it alone, we hire a guide, we hire somebody to help us get there faster, but it's all about like the journey. And even with mistakes, those are always kind of, instead of a mistake or instead of a failure, it's a learning experience. We learn, don't do that. Or we learn, let's try something different. And so if you're at the beginning of your photography business, it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to go your own way and blaze your own path. Or if you're thinking about starting a photography business and you're kind of overwhelmed and you wish you just had a simple checklist to go down to figure out how to start your business and get things going, you're in luck, because I have a free checklist down in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.